Hey Pisces, we're going to be doing your reading. So we're going to get right into it and see what is going on for you guys, Pisces. All right, Pisces. Whoa. Okay, so I was going to restart the reading because I was like, that feels like kind of sloppy. But can I just tell you something? So the King of Wands is on top here. And then look at this. You have the friggin' Page of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. Okay, that is so many court cards. Like that's almost too many court cards. Okay, so all right, Pisces, what else is going on here? We're going to reshuffle this, but that was like alarming, I want to say. So, all right, let's see what is going on here. Pisces. I kind of want to say that you guys maybe are just like really adaptable in some sense, okay? There might be something that you're just like really good at, like, I don't know, kind of like, I want to say adapting to whatever it is that you're kind of doing or I don't know, something like that, okay? Or maybe you feel like you're dealing with somebody who's like a little bit manipulative in the sense of like, I don't really know what I'm going to walk into here. I don't know what kind of personality I'm going to kind of be met with or something like that. So, all right, Pisces, let's see what's going on. I was totally going to restart this reading. All right. All right, let's see what's going on. Queen of Cups. All right, so let's see. You guys have the Four of Pentacles, and this is showing up. Sorry, my camera keeps friggin' shaking. This is showing up for your energy for the week here. So I'm understanding this as like holding it together. Like there's something that you're holding something together here, that kind of stuff, okay? And I also think that there's maybe something that you are even like holding yourself back from something or keeping like a particular thing to yourself, possibly because you're like, there's like, I want to say I can't say this in front of certain people or something like that, okay? Definitely understanding that. So let's see. And again, I apologize for this, the shakiness of the camera. I'm using like an incredibly cheap little tripod. So yeah, that's what I get. So all right, you guys have the Judgment card, and this is showing up for the area of your feelings here. So I think that you're feeling... okay, this is interesting. I'm almost understanding that you're feeling a sense of like, this is what I have to do, or like, I signed up for this thing, I have to do this, whatever the heck it is. And I also wonder if you're feeling a sense of like, I almost want to say, here's what I'm getting. I think that there is a certain decision or whatever the heck, or taking accountability on something that I feel like you're feeling like, I need to do this. Like I need to do this, but you're holding back on it. There's something that you're not really like letting go of, that kind of thing. I even wonder if there's maybe something that you're like, okay, like I am getting this story of like, all right, I'm going to take like accountability on this thing. I'm going to like kind of like accept whatever this is, something about that. But I think that there's a particular thing, whatever that is, that you're like, but this thing I'm keeping to myself. Like this is a thing that like holds everything together. Like if I let this thing kind of release in some sense, like I feel like you're like, that's going to be like the final straw or something. So all right, you have the Four of Cups, and this is showing up in your environment here. So it kind of feels like you maybe there's somebody around you who is maybe having a hard time like getting involved in something, or maybe would rather kind of not be involved in something, that kind of stuff. I even wonder if maybe there was a particular offer put out in some sense, and I do wonder if this is a person around you. Maybe this is somebody who's like, I don't know if I really want to accept this, or something about that, or a feeling of like, I don't know how to kind of like how is this going to work, or do I even want to do this? Is it like, is my heart even like involved in whatever this is, that kind of stuff. All right. It could even be that there's maybe somebody around you that's like, I don't care either way. I don't even have feelings about it, that kind of stuff. All right. That's what I'm feeling here. So I even wonder if you're feeling... Okay, hold on. Can I tell you something? I'm also getting a storyline here, Pisces, where it's like you might have come to a particular person with something that was like really important to you, okay? Or like, something, again, that was like important to you in some sense. I wonder if you feel like, yeah, well, I kind of like did my part. Like I kind of like tried to bring this thing up, whatever the heck it is. And I wonder if you were met by like a real like apathetic type of, like a person who's just like, I don't really care or whatever, or like, I don't know, I don't have any feelings about that kind of thing. If that's the case, then maybe this Four of Pentacles is you guys being like, great, well, I'm not going to release that particular thing, or I'm going to keep this close to myself because there's a feeling of they're not going to care, or this person could care less either way, that kind of stuff. So, all right. And then I'm also getting a storyline here, Pisces, where like you might have a physical item that somebody maybe needs. And I wonder if somebody around you is trying to put something together and is like, I don't have this particular thing, but I wonder if you do. And I wonder if maybe you're going back and forth being like, should I answer the call to this? Should I not? You know what I'm saying? Like, should I face the music here or should I not? That kind of thing. So, all right. You have the Page of Swords and this is showing up for your goal. So kind of feels like you want, I do understand this as like possibly being a person, okay? Unless maybe it's like, obviously it could be a situation, but with this Page of Swords here showing up as your goal, like I feel like this is like wanting to get this person, if this is a person, like involved in something, or having somebody maybe see why something is important to you, that kind of stuff. That's really what I'm feeling here. I will also say, I'm wondering if there's an energy of possibly you maybe not wanting to share a particular thing here. And if that's the case, then maybe there's somebody around you who's like, okay, well then if you're not going to share this thing, then like whatever, I don't know how to put this thing together then, or like, forget it. Like what, I don't care either way, like that kind of stuff. Okay. That might be how they're presenting, but I don't know if that's like really how this person is feeling. So I do feel like this is like, hey, I want to kind of like start a conversation or start getting like, interested in something, or maybe starting to like maybe even ask questions to somebody around you as like, hey, what is it? What is it that's going to make you feel like motivated or feel like, okay, I want to do this thing, or that kind of stuff. All right. So you have the Queen of Swords, and this is showing up in the challenge position here. So yes, I feel like this could just be somebody who is just like not giving you the time of day here. And I wonder if the challenge is just maybe you have like, maybe you're feeling like your feelings are kind of bruised by this situation. All right. That kind of thing. Definitely understanding that. And I also understand there's actually kind of like a lot going on here. So with all those court cards coming out, I almost wonder if this is something that is like repeated so many times, or if there's a situation here where there's just like confusion about like, what's my role? What's your role? Like, you know what I'm saying? Something about that. So I do think that there's a challenge in maybe like needing to kind of like, have a direct conversation with somebody, or that there's something that you might be noticing about somebody else. Like you might be like, this person's like kind of checking out of this, or this person's like not interested in whatever this is, that kind of stuff. That could certainly be showing up as a challenge, but it does feel like you have this goal of maybe like restarting some type of communication here, or at the very least, maybe like getting kind of curious about something here so that, either you or someone you're dealing with is feeling like, okay, I want to be involved in this, or like, I actually do care. Like I do have I do have an opinion or feelings about whatever this is. So all right, you have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is showing up in your environment, for your opportunity. So it could be that you have the opportunity to kind of just do something by yourself, all right? Maybe this is like, what, if this person, whatever this is kind of like checked out, or is just, again, feeling kind of like, I don't care either way, that kind of stuff, then maybe that's your opportunity, is to do something like totally independently. That kind of stuff definitely could present as a challenge, okay? Queen of Swords showing up as your challenge. That is like, I oftentimes see this as kind of like an independent energy. At the very least, very much an independent thinker. This is somebody who kind of like figure things out, like, but I want to say by themselves, or they're not like easily swayed or easily like influenced, that kind of thing. So, all right, Pisces, interesting start here. So let's see what else is going on. Pisces. Yeah, so these cards just came out. You have the Eight of Cups at the top. So that's what I'm saying. There is this feeling of like disappointment, or a feeling of like, maybe, again, that feeling of like, all right, somebody is not, they want to like walk away from something, or like depart from something, or why do there's mixed messages here, because I swear to God, this energy of like, I don't care, or like whatever, I don't care either way, like, again, that might be on the surface level here, but there's something there is a level of like actually being connected to this thing, or being like, again, having some type of feeling about it. Just maybe there's just, you know, a hard time in like actually like grabbing a hold of an opportunity or like really kind of involving themselves in something. All right, that kind of stuff. So all right, let's see what's going on. So I wonder if like your energy is maybe focused on somebody else right now. Okay, you know, that kind of thing. You might really be kind of focused on somebody around you, or maybe this is a situation that you're feeling like, I don't even know if I care about this anymore. Okay, if this is not a person. So Two of Swords just came out. So I swear to God, it feels like you're feeling kind of like ignored, or you're feeling like, I just don't know where to go with this, you know, that kind of stuff. So, all right. Okay, let's see. Pisces. All right, so with the Four of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands here. So yeah, there's definitely like defensive energy, okay? Absolutely, I'm understanding that. Four of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands here showing up for your energy. It does feel like there's something that you're maybe holding back from, in the sense of like, it's almost like, okay, I'm ready to do this, but like, hold on, let me, I just need to like, I need to stay here for 1 second, or, you know, that there's a feeling of like, again, I'm holding this particular thing back. I don't want to share this thing because, again, you might have been met with like a situation or a person or whatever it is that was just like not receptive to something that you were maybe like trying to put forth, or that, again, you know, having a hard time putting something together, a feeling of like whatever, that kind of stuff. All right. Certainly could have been. Maybe you've been defending something for so long that you're just like, I can't continuously, you know, defend this thing, or I can't like always feel like I'm like, I have to be like ready on like the drop of a dime, or you know what I'm saying? Something like that. It feels like stressful, but it also feels like frustrated, you know, something like that. So, all right. With the Judgment card, you guys have the Three of Swords here. This is again showing up in the area of your feelings. So yeah, it could be that you're feeling a sense of like separation, or feeling like maybe that's what you have to do, is to separate yourself from some person, situation, whatever it is. Because again, there just might be this feeling of like, you know, like that, it's almost like somebody doesn't want to meet you halfway, or there's, I don't know, something like that. All right. So again, I do feel like part of whatever's going on here is there's either like heartbreak, or something about a particular decision, or how something kind of went down, whether somebody kind of rose to the occasion here, or maybe did not, that kind of stuff. That's really what I'm feeling. All right, I'm also understanding something about like a word, but there's one letter removed, okay? So I can already tell you right now that there's two specific examples involved in this thing, okay? There's one thing that maybe is on the inner level. Something might have happened inside of something, and something might have been viewed on the outside of something, okay? That kind of stuff. That's what I'm understanding. I feel that there is a issue, or somebody just found out about something that, again, it's like if there was like 4 letters of something, if one letter was like dropped or added, I know this is not going to make sense to probably a lot of people, sorry, but this is what I'm understanding. There's something about that, and somebody has been made aware of whatever this is, that kind of stuff, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, that like little tidbit there is going to be extremely specific, all right? Extremely specific. If it doesn't make sense, don't try and make it make sense, you know, that kind of thing. So, all right, let's see. You have the Four of Cups, and then you have it with the Blasted Tower here. And again, this is showing up in your environment. So this kind of feels like maybe somebody like said something in the terms of like, oh, whatever, I don't care about that thing, or like whatever, like this doesn't matter to me, whatever the heck it is. I wonder if that maybe like caused a tower moment in some sense, okay? Or I wonder if this was like a real shock to the system, being like, I'm kind of surprised that I don't care about this thing anymore, that my emotions are like not involved, that kind of stuff, okay? There's something about that. There really is. This might even be a shock for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else might be kind of like, again, shocked at like how they're like why is this not like hitting me in an emotional way, or why am I not accepting this offer, or why am I not reaching out for this thing that is like kind of being offered to me, that kind of thing. It feels like there's maybe like a surprise in that, or like a shock in some sense, okay? That kind of stuff. All right, so with the Page of Swords, you guys have the Nine of Pentacles here, and this is showing up for your goal. So yes, I do think that there's a goal of, I want to say, getting to the bottom of something, or trying to like, maybe even like overhearing something, or something about that. But it feels like there's this level of being like, what is going to interest this person, or what is going to like, you know, maybe form a conversation, or even like, I almost get this Page of Swords as like almost high priestessy, like saying something without completely saying it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, okay? And I also wonder if you might have this goal of trying to figure out information, maybe from like a different source, or from, you know what I'm saying? Like hearing, what do they say? Like you hear it through the wire. I don't know if that's what anyone says. I might have just made that up, but is that, I don't know what I'm saying. Like a telephone game. I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. The grapevine, there we go. Grapevine, 9 of Pentacles, okay? So that's pretty cool. I like that. So, all right. In the past energy with this 9 of Pentacles anyway, it feels like there was maybe something that you were maybe feeling like, oh, this is really going to work out, or like, you know, I'm putting my energy into this thing and I know it's like, it's making me feel like I can really do this, and a sense of independence or something about that, okay? That's what I feel like has happened in the past, and now it feels like your goal is maybe to like figure out how to gain more like interest on something, or something about that, okay? Or to get maybe even like a little bit of attention for something, or start getting like raise somebody's curiosity. And I do think that this has to do with like maybe somebody who's feeling, again, like, you know, whatever, like, and it's almost like this is somebody who's like, the second that I get my emotions into it, or I start caring about something, it gets like ripped away, or it gets like taken away the second that I like, you know, accept something, or you know, that kind of stuff, okay? Certainly could be. So, all right. Okay, so let's see. You guys have Fortitude here, and this card's been coming out for like everyone, I feel like. So this is showing up for the action to take here. So yeah, this is definitely, I want to say, really, really believing in yourself, okay? So, you know, really believing in yourself and moving forward in a way that like you're not backing down. And I'll also say there might be something here where the action to take is really to kind of like influence somebody else to, again, like accept an offer, or to be like more interested in something, or I don't know, even like helping out in some sense, that kind of thing. That's really what I'm understanding, is like trying to influence something. I don't get this as like being like a forced thing, like you have to do this. It's more just like maybe being like persuasive in some sense, you know, something like that. So you have the 9 of Wands, and this is showing up as what this Fortitude card will bring in. So I do feel like this will bring in maybe, I want to say pushing something farther along, you know. You have the 7 of Wands here as part of your energy, and then you have this 9 of Wands as like what this Strength card is going to kind of bring in. So I do see that as progress, okay? I certainly do. And, you know, it's interesting. You have this Fortitude card, and then this 9 of Wands here says the Lord of great strength. So you could even be like proving like your own like endurance level with something, you know? That could certainly be something that is going on here. So, all right. I want to say like testing boundaries, or testing like the limits with something like that. So you have the Death card, and this is showing up as what to avoid. So here's what I'm feeling with this 9 of Wands here. Like that 9 of Wands is definitely not the 10 of Wands. So I feel like there's maybe something that needs to be finalized before it's like, okay, and now we can start transitioning, all right? That kind of stuff, okay? So maybe this is like avoiding like accepting the way things are right now, and being like, no, I'm not just going to accept that. Like we need to do some work before we can say, okay, yep, this stage has been finalized, now we can move to the next one, okay? That kind of stuff. So, all right, with the Queen of Swords, you guys have the King of Pentacles. This is showing up for your challenge. Okay, I kind of wonder if this challenge has something to do with maybe somebody else asking questions, possibly about like your family, or something that you're feeling like is kind of like maybe like personal, or, you know, I don't know, something like that. I'm kind of getting hit with that reference. That could certainly be showing up as a challenge in some sense. I do think communication, or scrutinizing something, or something like that seems to be part of whatever is going on here. I'm even understanding somebody confusing somebody for somebody else, and that being something, I don't know. Okay, so in the past energy here, you guys have the King of Pentacles. I kind of feel like, you know, it could be that in the past you had like a really like good success with like money or finances or something about that, okay? If that's the case, then maybe you're in the position here of maybe wanting to hold on something, okay? Kind of like holding something instead of like making moves either way, all right? That kind of stuff. Or there might be something that you're like, I want to keep this particular thing. You know, that's like, you can't cross this boundary, or that's my button, that's my, you know, something here. So I do feel like there's been something that was either like really consistent that was happening in the past energy here, or there's something to do with like, again, finances, maybe some health references, but I'm not really getting like a strong like health reference. I'm more so getting like finances or the way that you're working on something and then it becoming like really consistent, that kind of thing. Okay, that's what I feel like maybe the challenge is to have something like be like really reliable or like really consistent in that way, so that you can almost like predict what's going to happen. And that's kind of what I feel with this Queen of Swords, is a level of being like, I know exactly what's going to happen, or I know exactly what I'm walking into, because you have this like base layer of like stability or reliability, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. So all right, you have the King of Wands, and this is showing up as the action to take. So this is friggin' awesome. Okay, I feel like all of your like advice cards, if you want to call it that, are like really this like action type of like thing. Okay, like action to being kind of like bold, maybe even asserting yourself, definitely like an energy of influence. Okay, totally getting that with the King of Wands and this Fortitude card here. I do think that like maybe that's just what it is. Maybe you're somebody who's like super influential, okay? And this can be used in like a really positive way. I don't mean influencers, and I'm probably going to piss off somebody, but you know what? Whatever. Like, you know, like influencers who are like, here, you have to buy all this stuff because of course you do. I don't so much mean that, unless maybe if that's your thing and you're making money off of it. Listen, we all need jobs. I get it. Okay. But I think I more so mean like influential in like in a broader sense of it, okay? Not just being like, hey, fill up your shopping cart with all this stuff, okay? There's a difference there. And again, if you are an influencer and that's what you do and you like make your money in that way, that there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. Again, we all have bills. They all need to be paid, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. I feel like there's definitely worse ways to make money. So I'm not judging on that. So, all right. So yes, I do feel like the action to take here is to be bold, go for something, definitely like being like the leader in something. I do think that there's an energy of having people kind of want to follow you. Maybe that's what this whole thing is. Maybe there's people around you who have experienced a time of being like, you know what, nothing is like making me feel like I want to do anything, or there's you know, or a feeling of every friggin' time that I like go for this thing or I get my heart involved in something, it's like ripped away, or there's like a tower moment that like ruins it, like that kind of stuff. Like that can like really change a person, or kind of like make somebody you know, act in a certain way with like certain events if they have a history of like, you know, always waiting for like someone to leave, or always waiting for this thing to like come crashing down, that kind of stuff. Okay, some of you guys might be investors, all right? Certainly could be. So, all right, you have the Eight of Wands, and this is showing up as what this King of Wands is going to bring in. This is friggin' awesome, okay? Like quick movement, that kind of stuff. Maybe a quick response from somebody, but at the very least, it's like, you know, honest, or hopefully honest, but like fast-moving communication, or fast-moving, like it's going. All systems go, let's get it going, that kind of stuff, okay? Again, you have this Judgment card for the area of your feelings, so you might be feeling this already. You might be feeling, you know, something about that. For some of you guys, again, back into like this whole like investment situation, maybe you're feeling like the best thing to do is to like split something, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm not a financial advisor at all, okay? The way that I do things really in a really interesting way, so I wouldn't even know how to like explain it, but that's what I'm seeing. So, all right, you have the Five of Wands here, and this is showing up as what to avoid. So I think there's probably an avoidance of maybe going into something that is too competitive, or that like everybody is wanting to do the same thing, that kind of stuff. And I also would avoid, maybe this is avoiding looking at anybody who is like in the same like arena as you, okay? And by looking, I mean like comparing yourself, like being like, well, I'm not going to go into that thing because like look at all the competition, or this, that, the other. You know, I feel like we don't need to do that. And I also think that this is maybe an avoidance of like speaking in riddles, or feeling like you have to like get your point across, or that somebody has to follow like your way of doing something, that kind of stuff, okay? Which is, I think, interesting, because all those court cards that came out before, I already feel like you're kind of like good at like being adaptable in that way anyway. So I almost like wouldn't even worry about this Five of Swords, you know? Five of Wands. I wouldn't really like worry about that too much. I would also say, because first of all, I read this as the Five of Swords, so we're going to go ahead and redo that bad boy. Five of Wands, okay? So possibly what to avoid here is to move something too much, or to make something like too chaotic to the point where maybe there is no way to like predict something. I'm getting like there's too many variables. Like we can't have 1,000 variables, because then there's no way that we can pinpoint what it is that we're trying to actually study or watch or learn about. So I'm getting something about that. So This is an interesting one, Pisces. So, all right, let's see. You guys have, so with the Nine of Pentacles here, you guys have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, like a lot of Pentacles, okay? A lot of Pentacles, and a lot of like Wands. So that's what I'm saying. Like this could be like a job situation, or it really could be like having to move things quickly, or like this maybe is like something that is a job that is also a passion, you know, something regarding that. So, all right, Nine of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles showing up for your opportunity. So yes, I do think that there's something about you guys like doing something independently, or at the very least, making sure that you're not doing something that it's like you're having a hard time staying afloat, you know what I'm saying? Having a hard time like keeping up like a good ratio, like you're like not feeling friggin' depleted from something, or being like, great, I just put all my energy into this and I have nothing to show for it, or you know, that kind of stuff. So that's what I feel like your opportunity is. Do something kind of independently. I also feel like this is the energy of kind of recognizing that maybe whatever's going on here, it's not easy, you know, and maybe that's, it's not meant to be an easy situation. Okay, I feel like the Falcon here is sticking out to me. I'm not exactly sure why, but I feel like that's maybe important for somebody, or there's like a, I don't know, a reference there. Okay. All right. So you have this Six of Pentacles, and this is showing in the previous energy here. So it feels like there was maybe, I want to say a situation that was like one-sided, you know, like I feel like maybe you were putting energy into something and maybe that was not being reciprocated. Okay. Or vice versa. Maybe you were not reciprocating towards a certain, whatever it is now. Okay. And I do feel like because of that, it's like your opportunity is to be like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do something that depletes me. I'm not going to do that. I can do this independently. I can do this. I will do this. It's going to be hard, but I know the result is going to be worth it. You know, that kind of thing. All right. So you have the Hierophant, and this is showing up as the action to take. So yeah, there's definitely something about like remembering the way that like you used to do something, or how you've had a success in the past, that kind of stuff, and like really remembering that, like, you know, it's like don't forget like the lessons that you've learned along the way, that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm definitely understanding something about that, because I really feel like you've had success, or something's been you know, has had like a good turnaround, or I don't know what I'm saying here, return of some sort, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm feeling, is that it's like, hey, stick to what works, that kind of stuff. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. Maybe not taking like the biggest risk in the world, but still being like quite influential with what it is that you're doing, or very confident in the way that you're going towards something. So you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is showing up as what this is going to bring in. So okay, for some of you guys, again, it could be that like the lessons that you've learned along the way, that kind of stuff, that could really be like promoting you to like this next level of something here. Okay, Nine of Pentacles is an awesome energy. Like this is somebody who's like, you know, they have like the luxuries, they've got what they need, they've worked up to a certain point, like they have like this level of like independence, you know, that kind of stuff. So it really is like, it's a wonderful energy to be in. So for this Wheel of Fortune to be here, it's like, dude, this is going to bring, this might be like your new normal, or this might be, you know, something that is like maybe revamping something a little bit, but you're the still like the base layer of that is still like the stuff that you've learned, or the stuff that you like brought with you, or whatever the heck it is. Maybe this is even relying on like a certain way that, again, a certain way that you do something, that there's something about that that's like, I want to say like special or important, or should not be forgotten, you know, that kind of stuff. So you have the Three of Wands here, and this is showing up as what to avoid. I feel like there's an energy of avoiding expanding on something just yet, especially because in the area of your feelings, it feels like maybe there's something here that you're feeling like we might need to separate this thing, or something about that, or feeling like, oh God, this particular judgment call, you know, like didn't go the way that you wanted, or now there's like kind of like a heartbreak, or you know, something like that, or maybe pain involved, being sad about something, that kind of stuff. So I feel like this is like, hey, avoid expanding on something right now. Okay, that kind of stuff. It's like kind of working through whatever it is that we're going through now. Okay, that's kind of what I'm understanding. I think there's going to be kind of like good luck with whatever this is going on here. All right, maybe this is going on to a new path of something, and there's, you know, your luck is getting better. You know, that kind of stuff, or this is just kind of like putting you on like a new cycle of something where I do think you're going to have like more independence, and like maybe, you know, finances are going to be better, or that you're proving to yourself that you can really do something like again, like independently, you know, something like that. So, all right, that was a really long reading. Sorry, Pisces. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope this reading was helpful and made sense, all that kind of stuff. If not, you could check your other placements, and I'll see you guys back for your next one. Thank you. Bye.